we ready? I'm gonna open the special workshop Tuesday at 5:30 p.m., January 23rd, 2024. I'm opening the to order. Invocation, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing the council to be here tonight. We ask that you guide them to do your will in all that we do and for the betterment of the community. Keep everyone safe. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are here to discuss and review ordinances. My understanding, these are ordinances that Bonifay has. There's one from Weewall, Hitchcock. Town of Walsall and Chapter 22 nuisances. I'm not sure where that comes from.
Who's that one from?
I think it's from Chipley, I'm not sure.
I think it's Shipley.
This says Chippewa on the bottom left.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
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 I think you're going to find that the one from Walsall is the interlocal agreement with the county.
County.
And the only thing they use is the dog park, animal control.
Mr. Gary, you haven't had an opportunity to speak to the county about pricing on all this since.
I talked to Trey today, they're gonna bring it up, if the council want to, they'll bring it up at the next meeting, whether we can join on or not, but the magistrate fee is $175 an hour. That's from the time he leaves Tallahassee.
No, we don't have that kind of money.
So, yeah, it's my understanding that the new, there's been a change of guard up there, and the position that Trey held is now being held by somebody that used to be a code enforcement officer. Do you know anything about that?
No, I know they do have a code enforcement officer now.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if, because
Who is it? I don't know who the chairman of the board is right now.
There it is.
It is.
is it Pettis?
Yeah.
I was just told that that he used to be code enforcement and that he may be able to give us information on it. The last time Candace and I met with Trey was a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they were having a lot of trouble with code enforcement and expenses, and we never really got anywhere.
So I'll call him and ask him to come to the
Well, if
meeting.
you've talked to Trey, then Trey knows the same thing. That's why I was asking if you talked with anybody with the county, because I know from what our attorney has said, when we talked about it prior, that we would have to go along with what the county ordinances are. Which means we'd have to change up some stuff on our end, was the way that I understood it.
Correct.
And the fees, I'm sure, are gonna be different than what they were then. Because I know that at the time that we met, they said that they were gonna have to go up on some of their stuff, and some of it was animal control, so that wouldn't be any issue, because we already have animal control, but we can change all the ordinances and adopt anything that we want to, but we gotta be able to enforce it and afford it.
I'll call Mr. Pettis tomorrow, talk to him, and be pretty knowledgeable. I just asked him to come to a meeting.
While y'all were talking about this, we do have our own animal control, but it is under ordinances. The city's spending a fortune, way above our budget on animal control. And the reason is because we have our own animal control. Anybody that lives in the city limits, if they show up at the shelter and say it's from Vernon, they will not take it. So then we have to send out somebody to pick up the animal, and then we have to pay the $57.50 per animal. So if a person has 10 kittens in their yard and they wanna take them, they won't take them because we have our own animal control, and then we have to pay $57.50 an animal and go get them. So y'all might wanna think about that while you're,
That ain't,
I mean, it seems like it'd be a lot more cost effective to go through the county on animal control as well.
Yeah.
Because they won't pick up anything, we have to, so you're paying Chad to go out, pick it up, drive it to Chipley, and $57.50 to leave it there. When,
you're losing. all
Initially, it wasn't an issue when he first started it.
Yeah,
It was a
but-
great idea, but it's,
that's the first thing they ask a person if they go in there, where do you live? And if they say Vernon, that's
well, I
it.
don't know if anybody's noticed it or not, but I'm seeing a lot of strays.
Whole lot.
They're
People
being
just
dropped-
putting them off
they're
here.
dropping them off
Everywhere, they're
because
just
they
dropping
know
them
that we
off
have
because they know
animal
we
control.
take them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're spending, not every month, but in the past 2
They
months,
asked
it's
them
probably over
$600 and some
$1,500
Well, and that-
dollars in the last 2
It
months.
was $600.
1,500.
It was, he brought it up at one of our previous meetings at budget time, we're
Last
gonna have
night,
to
I
address
looked
it,
at
because if we continue with it, we're gonna have to go up in the budget, because he's
We gonna have to
basically,
do
We
something.
need to just get away from that,
Something, yeah.
if we can, I mean, if it's feasible.
that's what I'm saying, that going back to the county, which, either way we go, we're gonna have an expense, we know that. Going back to the county, we need to know those numbers as well, because when Candace and I met with them last, their code enforcement, which at the time they were in between, and they went through a couple, I think, since then. But at that time, they were discussing that they were going to have to go up because it was costing them more on their agreements. So, am I right, Candace?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna have to do is, whatever the council decides to do, we need to know what's the most cost-effective way to move forward.
You look at-
And we know
look at-
everything's gone up.
Look at that, you're paying more per dog than you'd pay for a magistrate come once a month.
We're really overpaying for the animal
Yeah.
situation, for sure. Michelle told me, as far as Chipley on their code enforcement, that this is what they've decided to spend their money on is, I don't know the proper name for the code enforcement, but anyway, the code enforcement. So they are actively and severely pursuing this, but she said they are spending a lot of money on it, but to the point where they're foreclosed on people's homes. Now, I hope y'all don't want to foreclose on anybody's home. I just want to throw that out there,
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna say
personally.
That's ridiculous in my opinion.
But that's the steps, if they don't clean up
Oh,
and then they go to the magistrate and then they don't pay the fine and then that's how it progresses.
Because big
So-
cities, in big cities, they fine you for every day. Once they notify you, you have so many days to clean it up or get it out or whatever, and then they fine you for every day past that day. You get a fine for that.
But she did say that Chipley was being very aggressive
And that's a lot
in
of money.
theirs,
But I would
but
never.
I don't think they're using the county.
They're not, they're on their own.
They're on their own. Mhm.
They have their own magistrate and everything that they're having to pay.
Walton County uses a magistrate, that comes and sees everything for every, not just code, but anything for that whole entire day. You know, and it's a whole entire day of court, but it's all kinds of things besides that. So if y'all do end up going with a magistrate, those are things you could consider with a city police and other things. If you've got a magistrate that could handle all of it, because you're gonna have to figure out how to pay for it somehow. You're gonna have more income to pay the to pay the fees.
Yeah. And we don't have anything in the budget right now for.
I mean, everything's line item that we can always find money, but you have to tell me where to take it from.
But we gotta have some numbers before we can even know that.
What did you say it was, Mr. Gary? An hour?
175, that guy come out of Tallahassee.
So you
Is that
figure 2
true?
hours is, if it's 175, it's gonna take him 2 hours and something to get here.
So you're talking, Mr. Gary, that's the one that the county's using, the magistrate that they use?
Yes. Yeah. But the question I'll ask is, just because we're using their code, do we have to use their magistrate if we can find one local?
I would think, I don't know, the attorney's not here, which I was hoping that when we had this meeting that she could be here. I'm not an attorney, but I think if we go with an agreement with the county, that we have to follow
Probably.
what they're doing, I would think. I don't know, but I would just,
But we do, if we go with them, we have to follow their,
I mean, if we're having to change up our ordinances and things to go along with them, which we've already been told that we would have to do, then I would think that we would have, it would all fall on them and we would be just paying for whatever.
But we need to at least talk to them about the animal control.
So we need to know the pricing if we have to use their magistrate.
We're gonna have to find out something about the animals.
Do y'all know Mr. Hagan over in Wausau?
Yes.
He's their code guy. He said he would help us too.
Rockville?
Huh?
Rotterdam
Rotterdam.
on the mountains.
Help us figure it out.
He's also the mayor of there.
Yeah. Walsall.
But, yeah, he seems,
Mr. Gary, do you wanna talk to
Yeah.
Roger Dale?
Yeah, I know it pretty good. I don't mind meeting with him.
okay, I know what a magistrate is. But when you're talking about having a magistrate do stuff for us, what's the difference between hiring a magistrate and us having a cop that works for us?
Basically, a magistrate is generally an attorney or a judge,
Right.
retired judge.
So you're just looking at him just to do,
And they follow through on
Okay.
the legalities of whatever the situation is.
okay. Because I was thinking, we could have a cop, he could sit out there and pay his own salary writing tickets. I almost got hit again coming across that line. I mean,
I know, I was hoping, I don't know what it's gonna take to get a red light there instead of a caution light, but
Yeah.
it's very
it's
bad.
amazing though.
I don't know if anybody, well, some of us probably drove through there today, but the four-way is up
It's,
at Dawkins and Sat, and
You've got to start putting them signs up though at DOT level, or we could get in trouble by the lawsuit if they're not at the right height.
I don't
Are
know.
they too short? Are they too short?
I just seen the white lines and the stop signs, and I was glad to
They
see
got,
them, so I didn't get out. and
they
measure
look
them.
good, but they all need to be, they need to be by DOT height standard everywhere.
Do we know what that is?
No, but you can measure some out there on the road and it'll tell us, out there on the main road. I'll get with him tomorrow on that.
but then DOT put those signs out?
jeez.
What signs, you talking about the new signs we got?
The ones at Dawkins.
No.
It says, in a rural, 5 feet in rural, 7 feet in urban.
So there should be 7 feet here?
No,
So,
No, 5 feet.
Rural,
rural,
5 feet.
I see.
No, 7 feet.
7 feet over.
But it does say here, a stop sign in rural areas should be located 6 feet from the shoulder of the road as well. So 6 feet from the shoulder of the road and 5 feet
Elevation,
elevation.
they may be at the right height, then I thought that'd be a DOT height.
Let's take a bet on the first guy that crashes through there. Because nobody's
Everybody
going
was
to be paying
stopping today
attention.
when I went through. I was pleased because I've almost been squashed there several times.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is there an ordinance y'all like better, or, you think in the county?
I'm not crazy about it.
I'm not.
That mattress that won't, we need to see if there's more mattresses around this local.
I know Hayward Dykes does it in Walton County, you know, that's from Vernon. I don't know,
And he's an attorney,
yeah.
and I think that's what he's doing full time at the moment.
Contact him.
So basically, what we need to figure out is,
Well, the preference I got seemed to be weed wall. I don't know why, I just,
I think everybody's told me we all that I talked to.
yeah.
That's my one that I read.
I asked Michelle, the attorney, if she would recommend one. She said, I told you up to council that it was our job to do it. Didn't get a recommendation.
So we still have to hire a code enforcement person? Is that it?
You'd have to
Anyway,
have
we
somebody
go,
to
we-
enforce,
Yeah.
enforce the ordinances. I mean, that's the thing is,
we have to agree on an ordinance. We have to figure out which way we're gonna go, which I think, I may be wrong, because none of us have that information and none of us have gotten it all yet. We talked about doing it on our own with the magistrate. We know that's gonna be pretty pricey. It may not be as bad with the county, but there's still some hoops that we gotta jump through as far as getting our paperwork on together and finding out how much it's gonna cost so we can come up with the money to do it. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you on like Candace, I'm not interested in getting anything where we're gonna have people, first of all, a lot of people can't afford to clean up everything all at one time. And for them getting fined and then turn around and taking somebody's home, I'm not in for that.
And I agree with you on that, but it's up, council can set
You know,
deadline date. And they,
I've noticed this, and I'm sure the rest of you have too, when we put the dumpsters out, that is encouraging people to clean up, it's helping them get it out there, and every time we put them out there, they've been full, and, well, I think they've had been dumped twice that one time.
I didn't purposely advertise it last time so that the citizens could try to get stuff in there.
Yeah,
before they go.
Yeah,
I spread it around, send it, message here, message there to
Well,
the
I know.
locals.
can we do that more often?
Yeah, I know in the last 4 or 5 years, my property that's around the city, I haven't had to pick up no, TVs, no trash,
No.
no recliners or no tires or nothing like that.
No, and I think that whatever we do, the way we need to go about it is not, we're servants of the citizens of Vernon, we're not overlords, and I think whatever we decide to do, we need to do it in a respectful way,
Yes.
and in a way where we're not trying to control somebody or basically tell them what to do on the property, threatening them, because I don't know about y'all, but if I'm planning on doing something and somebody starts on me, threatening me, telling me I've got to do it, I may dig my heels in a little bit, just out of spite, and I'm gonna be honest. And we know that, there are some people that just haven't done it, there's some people that are working on it, there's some people that can't do it. And so, I think if we're gonna do anything, we need to do it in a helpful manner, not,
Okay, there's 2 houses that I can tell you. One of them's on the tourist corridor, which drives me nuts. It's that trailer that had the dumpster, that never put anything in the dumpster. And there's one down there on the road that goes into my subdivision. Those people have lived there for 2 years. There's a big pile. If you picked up one thing every day and threw it in the garbage, it would have been gone a long time ago. I don't understand why. Because it's just a big pile of old sofas, desks, stuff like that. I don't quite get, because it's not something they use or ever going to use again. Same thing with the people on that trailer.
Across from yours.
Yes.
let's be
that's
careful not
up.
to use any names or anything of people that aren't here to defend themselves.
No, okay,
So,
yeah.
I'm just throwing that
Okay,
out
all
there.
right, all right. They know who they are.
Well,
Okay, all right, I apologize for that, but,
no, I'm
But
not, I'm just saying that for everybody, for all of us,
Okay.
while we're having this discussion, it's,
Right.
generally, if we're gonna talk about,
but you were talking about being respectful, but
yes,
because I will go down there and help you, just to get it off the ground.
I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I would.
Right.
But
Not doing
if
that.
we're,
I got
if we're
my own
trying to
piece
be
of
helpful,
I ain't doing that.
and we're trying to be respectful and everything, hey, she's older, I don't mind coming down to help pay. But,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, that kind
And
of
that's
stuff.
what I was talking about was, you know, if we go at this in a way that's not gonna, well, I'm just gonna put it, the city had a code enforcement board of sorts in the past, and there were,
Threats against them.
yeah, there was a lot of discord, and I don't know if that was the way the board went at it, or I'm not gonna say one way or the other, but I'm just saying, we need to be careful how we treat people with whatever we do on this, because, I mean, there was death threats, there was, you know, some of them were, it was, you know,
Bad
told they were
threats.
gonna be burned out and all that, and it was just,
Well, like-
it was a mess.
I do agree with you because that's my property.
Yeah,
Shut up.
that's what, you know, but
Don't look at it, you know, that kind of
whatever,
stuff.
whatever we do, all I'm saying is we need to really get together, all of us, on what we want, what we're willing to do to somebody if they just absolutely refuse to clean up and show no, you know what I'm saying? So we need to be careful about that, and we really need to know how much it's gonna cost so we can, you know, nail down some numbers. And I have not read all of these all the way through. I just got them last night, and I'll be honest with y'all, I was swamped today. I've read what I could, but I will
I read them,
read all of them.
because I had them before, them the ones we had before.
Yeah.
And I thought we were, out of all the ones I read, that.
Yeah, and I remember previously reading, but I don't remember everything that's in all of them. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
This set
me,
that I got
like
last
read a long
night,
time ago.
I haven't read. Yeah, it's been a while, I think.
So if you had a code enforcement person, would it have to be someone from someplace else?
I would
mean, as
advise-
opposed, because somebody local probably wouldn't want, I mean, because, let's face it, you guys are all related to each other.
Well, even if not, we've all grown up together our whole lives. But I just want to say, as far as in the office, I think if you do it in our city instead of putting it out for, like with the county, it's going to add a lot of extra work in the office. Not that we're opposed to doing extra work, but that's more money that you're paying us too. Whereas if you go through the county, they've got to do that part of it. Hey, we have an issue over it wherever, and they take it from there. So,
Well, and also in that too, and I think that I'm right in this, used to be anybody could pick up the phone and call and make any kind of complaint that they wanted to any department, from Children and Family Services right all the way up to.
now they have to give their
DEP.
name, I believe.
Yeah, so if we were to go with the county on something like that, the laws have changed in the last 2 years. You can't do an anonymous,
Right.
like, I get mad at you and I'm gonna call you type thing without giving your name. The person that you're accusing of something has the right to know who you are. So, in going with the county, we would have that on our side, as to where if we try to do it this way, your phone's gonna be flooded every time somebody gets ticked off with their neighbor about whatever. They're gonna be calling about codes, they're gonna be calling about everything. I mean, we've seen it with, even with our animal control. You know, your dog's dumped over my garbage can, and I need this picked up. So, how do y'all want to move forward? Everybody gather some more information and come up with some money
Yeah.
prices?
Yeah.
Look at, to me, between animal control and whatever we do, it's gonna cost the city a lot.
It's going to be expensive.
We got to do something, but I don't know what the answer is, because the city don't have the money. And I can tell you the county don't.
I wonder, Candace, what is it costing us now to do the dumpsters?
Nothing.
They do that for free.
We did it four times a year in the contract. So every 3 months I've been scheduling them to come. Now,
So-
if you had just a roll-off dumpster out there, every time they dump it, they're gonna dump it by weight, which we're not getting charged by weight at this point, but they're gonna dump it by weight, so it might be $2,000, $3,000 just to dump it one time. If you did, if the city did it outside that scope of the contract.
Cause all them sofas and stuff be in there.
Now, you could just hire somebody cheaper to go with a trailer and go around and say, hey, we're gonna put this by the road on
Well, they
X
used to
day.
have that. Remember they used to have
And do
that?
pickup
They
and
stopped.
hire a contractor to go pick
They
it up.
kinda used to do that.
Cause I think that's a lot of problem too. You've got people that don't have access to a truck or trailer to haul off.
Well, and I
things.
can tell y'all too from the work that my husband does. A lot of places, a lot of people that call him have told him that they tried to take stuff to, like there was one place in one customer
Landfill.
in Campbellton or something like that. There are certain places that they won't let them take certain things, and if they do take it, they charge them
Mm-hmm.
an exorbitant amount of money. And I don't know why that is, because I know what the dump fees are for my husband at each local dump when he has to haul something. But when it's one of the last times that I took a phone call, they needed somebody to come out and do it just because they couldn't afford to take it themselves. It was cheaper to hire somebody to go and do it, and that's completely backwards of what it should be. And then you have those that call because they can't. They have health issues, or they don't have any way to haul it, or so you run into that too.
Can I say something about the animal control? I know that Apalachicola, and there's 2 or 3 towns that I've been on the east coast of Florida, that they have a thing where they just pick the animals up and have them spayed or neutered, and then they release them back out as long as they're not making babies. I don't think that works really well with dogs, but I know with cats it does. And you can get a cat fix for $35 at OSB, which is $20 cheaper than taking them over to wherever Chad's having to take them.
We still have to send an employee down here and
Yeah.
back.
Do it.
We still have to send an employee down there and back.
Well, I was just gonna say, if that's something that you guys would think about, and I would volunteer to help Chad put traps out, and I would take them to OSB. I mean,
They're still, what are we gonna do when we bring them back?
okay, that's exactly what I just said. They
You said they
release
come
them
to
back, as long as they're not making babies.
Still gonna have a bunch of dogs and cats.
No,
No,
I-
you said dog, she
I
said
said I
not
don't know how
dog.
long it would, I don't know that it would work with dogs. Dogs get out in the road, but at the places like at D's and the gas station and stuff, I think the big problem with businesses is they don't want a bunch of kittens. And if you put a boy cat and a girl cat, that's what they want to do. But if we take them and get them fixed, because when I had all the D's cats fixed, it was down, I got homes for most of them. It was down to like 10 before somebody dumped a pregnant cat, and then we were starting all over again. So,
But if the city done that, and that cat, we had it done to scratch somebody, they got sick, that's a lawsuit.
okay, so I'm gonna volunteer to call somebody over in Apalachicola and see exactly how that works for them, because that's the closest town to us. But does it even sound like something you would even consider? I mean,
It just depends on exactly what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
I don't
What it's gonna cost.
I don't really get the concept. They're picking them up, fixing them, and putting them back. I understand it keeps them from multiplying.
right, and that's the problem. Because, let's face it, they seem to disappear easily.
I know.
We have a hog in town
Well-
right now that's just roaming the streets.
A what?
A hog roaming the streets
Wow.
in town.
A hog?
I think it's potbelly, but nobody has claimed it. But like on Christmas Day, I was getting pictures of it. Is this your hog? Is it because it was on McFatter that day? You know.
Well, I know that there was somebody in town that had one. No, it got gone before Christmas time. That would get out. It was an escape artist and would get out, and they would have to go. I mean, I've seen them have to go walk with a bowl of feed and have the animal follow them home walking with a bowl of feed to get it back home. But they've since got rid of that one. I haven't seen one in a while, and I haven't seen the goat. that I saw. I'm usually the one that always has the crazy, I saw this animal in town story, but I haven't seen that lately, except the fox that's across the McBatter Street. I've seen him or her, but there's cats everywhere. There's dogs, and they're not just doing it here, but they're doing it here knowing that either somebody will take it in or that we have code enforcement. They figured that out, that, you know, but they're doing it bad in Sunny Hills right now too. People are dumping dogs in Sunny Hills.
Well, somebody calls and says somebody's dumped a dog and 8 puppies out of their house, and we know good and well that that was their puppies and their dog, and they don't want it anymore, but we're fixing to, the city's paying for it.
$57 a piece.
Wow.
And we had issues in the past of one citizen claiming it was another citizen's cats, and they were feeding them before that, but they got into a squabble, and then the city had to go and haul the cats off, and actually with each pointing the finger that the cats belonged to the other. So
Oh.
I wouldn't have Chad's job on that, and I don't want to be a code enforcement officer.
Well, I like Miss Mary's idea though. I got 4 dogs, I could just let them out one day, let the city pick them up, and they get them picked for me. I'm just playing with you, but.
No,
hey,
but I mean, $35,
But
figure, $35 is cheaper than $57.
Oh, yeah, 3 of mine's fixed, but I need to
Yeah.
get the other one fixed, but anyway, I'm just messing with you. I don't see how, no, back to Apalachicola, how, you know, dogs are a lot different than cats, but,
Yeah.
I don't see how they solve the problem, you know? We got a lot more cats than we do dogs.
Sure.
Plenty.
That's
probably 2 to
because,
1.
but if you made a concerted effort to trap them at the post office, at the gas station, at D's, probably at the Chevron. I mean, the cats at least. I don't know about potbelly pigs and all that kind of stuff, but the cats at least.
If you set one out at the end of town, at the Vernon Express,
Okay.
What's that?
you're gonna get chickens.
I was about to say, chickens are
You're
there.
gonna
They don't
get
have
chickens.
no
Oh, that
more
rooster?
Yeah,
They have free range
They roost
chickens.
on the,
No, but they
at
gone
night.
now.
Oh, I ain't seen them lately.
I ain't seen them lately. They're not there.
They was roosting.
Because
on
I was
the,
upset.
the rooster.
Somebody done
That
ate 'em.
rooster behind D's, man, he chases me all over the place. He's mean.
That one at the Chevron, those chicken, they used to be up top of those machines, but they're not, I don't see them no more.
But Mr. Brock's got a potbelly pig. He's got a big one.
Yeah.
It's not his,
It's not. It stays there.
it's a little one, it ain't that big. Sometimes it travels with a little black lab.
Well, see, you know.
That little
I see it
black
all
lab
the
that's
time.
over here in this
I
neighborhood?
figured we'd eventually get a picture of it eating corn, but we haven't. Our guys on.
Who got them? Yeah.
Is it okay with you guys
I used
if
to
I
have
at least
one. He
call
died.
Appalachian?
Fine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would, see
17
what they,
years.
see what they say that they do.
Because I know when I would go over there, the cats roam around, people let them in their stores, they feed them, but they're all fixed. And so the population dwindles when they can't mate. They get hit by cars, stuff like
And the coyotes get them.
that. Coyotes get them. So,
Humans eat them.
is that what you served the other night? They get you.
Okay, so I think we all agree that we all got some work and some research to do. Is that pretty much everybody's opinion on
We get prices and figure out exactly what to do.
it? Yeah, it's versus, and with the county, one or both, you know, the price for one and both. We used to have, Mr. Gary, you probably remember, we used to have an agreement long ago with the county.
With the county was
With code
picking them up.
enforcement and animal control.
Yeah.
They was picking
And
them up.
if I remember correctly, they kept going up. It kept getting more expensive, and the council at that time said, we're done with it, we can't afford it. So it has been done before both, through the county. It's been a long time ago, but it has been. So I think we all just need to,
The idea that someone just
Well, I
dumps their
know you can't
animal, I
keep
think they
paying
need to be
57.
lodged.
and when we do,
That'll break the city.
if the council decides to do an ordinance and go through with this, we may not necessarily need to adopt exactly any one of these. We may need to tweak them or add them. I mean, y'all may have another idea, may want something taken out or put in.
Okay.
So we need to look at that too. I know I'm gonna be looking at that on whatever we,
If y'all decide to hire a code enforcement person, consider hiring a police officer too. No, I mean,
oh, no, I'm telling you, it's gonna be expensive and it's not gonna be easy.
well, I'm just saying, the
We're gonna-
police officer could bring in revenue to
Yes.
the town, so,
Yeah,
and I don't know if they can be the same person. You know, if you had a police officer that could also act as the code enforcement
we
person.
need to look into that too.
Because then you would, because there's probably a grant, like Shaq and I were talking today about the SAFER grant for the fire department, where they'll pay if you wanna have 2 full-time firefighters, and you get the grant for 5 years, they'll pay the first 5 years, but you have to do the next 5 years. Well, if you know 5 years in advance, you can
Yeah,
work that out,
Yeah.
you know? So that could be something that, or we have a security officer, whatever you want to name them, could be fire, police, code, all combined. It might be something that there could even be a grant for with that SAFER grant.
And you know, the city used to have a deputy.
Yeah.
I think it was provided through the county, and it may have been a grant that they had.
There's
but-
some kind of stipend that I think we might get by going through the county instead of through the city, but I believe the revenue of deputy an officer could bring in would
Just
pay
the
for their
speeding tickets,
salary.
Yeah.
the speeding tickets
Yeah.
alone,
just,
that,
yeah.
some of y'all know this and some of you may not, but when they're in town and they write a ticket, the city's supposed to get,
We supposed to get money for that, but I
but
don't
if they
think we
don't,
do.
if they don't put where it was at, that it was inside the city
Right.
limits, we don't get it.
Right.
I know.
And I've asked Candace a couple of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, our numbers haven't went up on speed ticket money that we're getting.
No, as far as from the county, it's just speeding fines, it's $200 a month at maximum.
And that's weird
And-
because.
And that's like
sheriff-
one
That's
ticket,
weird.
that's
That's
like
sheriff-
right ticket.
Yeah.
And
They
y'all,
write
I'm
all the
telling
time. I see them out there in front of my
Last
house, they
week-
writing.
you, last week, the highway patrol and the Washington County Sheriff's Office, and
Oh,
nothing
right.
against either of them at all.
No,
I support them completely. But when I tell y'all that they were stopping folks left and right,
yes,
they weren't just stopping, they were searching them. There was a vehicle that their trunk was emptied out in the Dollar General parking lot. They were stopping and searching them. I know that they're writing tickets. I see them pull people over in town all the time,
All the
but our
time.
money
I
is
mean, they sit there at the church across the street from me, they sit there,
You said it all ago.
and they write all day.
They-
I
he
mean,
could
they
pay his
study
own
writing.
salary.
They're in town all the time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't remember, I was working, it's when we were on Main Street, that long ago. Gary, you were there when we had that deputy, his name was,
Roscoe Collins.
no,
Oh,
before,
shit.
after him.
Oh, after him.
The last one was, Steve, I wanna say his name was Steve.
First name.
It's the last one, Steve Johnson. I
Steve
believe.
Johnson.
But couldn't they also act as a code person and then
yeah.
I don't know.
Then they're
We need to
doing
look into
double
find out
duty,
about that.
and, well, I would think if the city assigned them to be the code officer, then they would be the code
Yes.
But there,
officer.
but there again, we go back
And then-
to
but then
having
they
a
would pay
high
for them.
magistrate and everything.
Yeah, but at least they would pay for them,
Right,
pay for themselves.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and put revenue to the city,
I
And
would
then
like
like
to
Ms.
see
Gwen
us-
says, we can't have a bank because we don't have
that's why.
any kind of police department.
I would
You
like
don't
to
have
see
a
us be able
police
to have a deputy
department,
here,
you cannot have a
if at all
bank.
possible, and it's something we could afford. Code enforcement, all that aside, it would be nice to have a deputy here,
No kidding.
you know. it
We'd
would-
sit down there on Church Street one day and on this
They got,
road.
Washington County, we provided them with an office
Yeah,
down the
As
hall.
soon as your last police officer, you saw those banks, they left here. And they said most cities
why.
do have that, that's why, because they don't have a law enforcement officer in the city limits.
That's, having a deputy here for Vernon all the time, you know, that would be a benefit. All the rest of this aside, that would be
Yes.
would be a benefit to the
yes.
city in a lot of ways, not just monetarily. It would, you know, safety wise, the speeders, I'm telling you, as many cops as want to can sit on Highway 79,
And right
up and
all
down,
day
and
long.
write tickets all day long.
Yeah.
They come across that bridge wide open,
No.
and they don't slow up all the way around. You try to get out
Watch them run
at
down that red
Dawkins
light.
By me,
at
they come all the
79.
way around at 60,
It's like a
70 miles
raceway.
an hour.
Yeah, it is.
And when you go out Dawkins,
Oh,
and
gosh.
you better be on the gas when you
Yeah.
go, because they're coming around that corner wide open. And like I said, you know, it would be.
But when I
we
have
need
to make
look
the
into that.
U-turn, I have to wait and wait, because they're coming so
Yeah.
fast till I can't get out there. I have to wait, because they, by the time I get out there, they're on me, and they will not get over.
No, they're
Not
they're
get over to
blowing
the
the
other
speed
way.
limit all the way through town.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid I'm gonna get hit out
So,
there.
Hey, when do we get our town signs? Those pretty signs that
Oh,
you.
I messaged them last week to ask an update, and, they're still working on them.
Hmm.
They had gotten behind on
Did you tell them to get on the
something
move?
else, but he said that they were working on them. And if it's under, since you asked, if it's under $1,000 to do it, I was just gonna do it, because our city sign in the city square is rotten. And I don't know if he could do it for $1,000, where we put our letters,
Right,
you know,
right.
for meetings. Like that, he couldn't put council meeting last night and then workshop tonight, because it wouldn't both fit. And the letters, some of them are fell off on one side as far as the wooden letters, and it's rotten if you touch it. So I wanted to, I talked to him about getting a price to do another city sign to go on the,
I believe that sign has been there since at least, that sign, particular sign has been used since 1997.
well,
Really?
when I had,
Unless it,
we got that new
Changed
sign when I was
that.
pregnant with one of the kids when I was on the council at the old city hall.
that's what I'm telling you, because that's the
Pretty
same time
sure.
when I worked. Yeah, and that was,
I feel like it's a justified
been a minute, y'all.
expense anyway, so I checked on it. But I'm
Make
waiting,
it, make it look better,
waiting to hear back from him, yeah.
please make it look better,
okay,
make
so
it better.
are we all pretty much on board that we need to do some research and come back with
Yes.
some,
Everybody around the county is looking for grants for a police officer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, check all of them.
yeah, let's see
Especially
what-
everywhere you can go with code working on that. We can't keep paying that $57. We'll be up 10 grand for the years over.
Well, you know, he came to us and told us several months back at a meeting that it was getting bad.
We had one month that was $1,200 or $1,300,
No.
1 month.
That's too
No, we
much.
can't, no, something.
But, you know, we're gonna be charged
We could pick them all up and take them
with
over
the
to
county
Shirley.
too, because that was I know that was the issue before.
Cause I remember that's why they stopped, because
Because there was so many calls,
because they were so expensive.
yeah,
Because
that's,
they did take care of us, but I remember they stopped
Yeah.
because they were too expensive.
Well, you're gonna call Roger Dale, you said,
Yeah.
and
And Mr. Pettis.
Mr. Pettis.
okay. All right, well, y'all study up on these ordinances and figure out what you want in them and what you don't, I guess. And maybe at the next time we meet on this, the attorney can be here and, you know. get
Well, we
something.
can all, for the next workshop, everybody can have an update on what we found out, and then y'all can decide if you wanna set a meeting when she can
Yeah,
be here.
okay.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Anybody second?
She did.
She did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
That's one of the easiest.